With me now, Representative for Pennsylvania's 12th District, Congressman Fred Keller. Congressman, good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Liz. It's a pleasure to be with you again and talk to the people of America.
And Congressman, you had been one of the individuals in Congress who'd been calling on Adam Schiff to release these transcripts. I think the credit hardly goes to him in this sense. He was pressured, and very aptly so, by Rick Grinnell here. But to say that the contents of these transcripts is bombshell, I think is an understatement.
Well, I think what you could say is the only collusion that's going on is the collusion by the Democrats to try and tear down a duly elected president and keep control over the American people. And that's really what has happened here. And that's why they were trying to impeach the president, so these things wouldn't come out.
And I mean, it's pretty easy to see why. So all of these individuals who, by the way, at various points either made public statements or went on television publicly and claimed that that there was Trump-Russia collusion. Adam Schiff particularly said he had evidence in his hand of Trump-Russia collusion. Congressman, what kind of accountability are we going to see? The American people elected President Trump and Republicans in Congress to drain the swamp. What is going to happen to these individuals who committed such malfeasance?
Well, the first thing I would say is this is what the swamp looks like. It looks like Chairman Schiff. It looks like Nadler. It looks like Speaker Pelosi trying to undo the election. And it also looks like these bureaucrats thinking that they know better than the American people. And they were really irritated that President Trump believed in the American people so much, and the American people wanted that power back, so they elected him. The first thing that I hope happens to these people is they lose in November. Quite frankly, they need to make sure the American people needs to hold them accountable that way. Then we need to take a look at these investigations, and if they've done things they shouldn't have been done, they need the Attorney General's office and the law needs to make sure they hold them accountable.
All right, talk to me about James Comey's role in all of this, because, I mean, we have this conglomeration over this past week of just incredible circumstances. We got to see the scope memo, Rosenstein's scope memo for the Mueller investigation. We saw Flynn documents, FBI notes from about Michael Flynn, that interview that they conducted in which they tried to trick him into lying so that he would be fired. Then we see these transcripts. I mean, James Comey, I think it is not an understatement to say, is one of the most corrupt, if not the most corrupt FBI director in the history of our nation.
Yeah, I would say that Director Comey should be held accountable. I mean, it happened. He knew it was going on. Actually, looking at people within the FBI that he did nothing to stop when they're trying to say, what's the real goal here, to get him to lie so they can get rid of him. They've been trying to get at the president, and it's not just, and it's not the good people that work in the FBI every day, out in the field offices and those kind of things, and the FBI agents. It's the people at the top on I think it's the 7th floor, whatever they say. But it's the people at the top of the organization that have really put a bad name on what goes on there, and they need to be held accountable. And Jim Comey's at the top of it, and I can't believe he's that smug that he went on his victory lap after he resigned or after he was fired and tried to make up like he shouldn't have been fired. Right. He should have been gone long ago.
Right. I mean, it's perfectly clear. And by the way, President Obama, speaking of those at the top, President Obama knew about the details of the wiretapped Michael Flynn phone calls. He revealed that in that January 5th meeting in the Oval Office. And I don't understand why more people aren't questioning how much of this entire plot against President Trump or incoming President Trump that President Obama knew at the time it was happening.
Well, it's hard to say how much was known and who knew it. But we do know this. We do know that the people that have been doing this have a lot of disdain for the American people and the people that elected President Trump to take back our nation and make sure that America is first. And the fear they had that they would lose control. And that's really what it's about with these people. It's about maintaining control because they think they know what's better for the American people than the American people do. And President Trump is totally different in that. President Trump knows that the American people are great. And that's what created the greatest economy that we will see again when we get through this COVID thing. But that created the greatest economy.
Only if we lift the lockdowns.
President Trump.
Yes. Congressman Keller, thank you so much for being on the show, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.